of sense I could make out of this thing, and I then start to explore into the new space, and ultimately, and slowly but surely, we get to a place of commitment. So that the process looks like this: denial, turbulence, exploration, commitment. But everybody does not go through that process at the same speed. So around you, somebody up at commitment, some few people in exploration, a mass of people in turbulence, and some still in denial. Say, nah, that will never happen around here. Okay, so you see that kind of thing happening. At leadership levels, at senior levels, managerial and supervisory levels, we have what we call the Tarzan swing. Denial to commitment. No, they can't be serious. Okay, that's what I want? Fine, no problem. And what happens is that we outwardly, we start to talk and behave as if we committed. But where are we inside? Turbulence, and we grind, and every now and then it will in fact come out. The other interesting thing about this is that traffic is not always one way, because down in what we call the pit, you see that zone between turbulence and exploration? That's the pit. So in turbulence, and then you say, listen, let me try this thing, yes? And you go off into exploration and you're trying something, and you bounce your head and something doesn't work, and you see it's the same thing. I tell them this wouldn't work, pow, and you swing back to turbulence. And you stay there for another week and you quarrel and you grumble. And you say, okay, let me go back this way. And you try again. And there's a fair amount of back and forth. There will be the emotional ups and downs during that period. Again, in your department, in your team, in your community, in your organization, everybody is not moving in the same direction at the same time. Somebody who was in exploration while you were in turbulence, when you head into exploration saying, okay, I'm ready to go, they're swinging back. And you see that kind of thing happening. So that time is a difficult time, but I'll tell you, and I'll explain it in a little while, it's an important time in the life of an organization. So this process is predictable. Think about it in terms of a personal change. Someone dies. You get the news. No. Right? There is your denial. Then you see, yes, it's true. So you go into your crying zone. And of course you can't live without them, and it's best you dead too, and all the kind of things, blah, 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 blah. And then one day you say, listen, I have to go back to work, life has to go on, and you're going to experience. But you will have your down days, and you swing back at your crying, and eventually you commit to living, and life goes on. I mean, not without its trauma and its pain, but it's that kind of cycle that we go through. How do we facilitate this process of transition? Well, we have to understand the demands of change. Change is going to require us to learn to do new things. It will have us do new tasks. It will have us do old tasks differently. It will have us stop doing things. It will have us let go things. And that inevitably will move us from a state of stress to a state of distress. If we were at stress, we move to distress. All right? If we were sleeping, we move to a state of stress. So maybe you should have been sleeping. All right? But understand that it really is a question of degree, and the more that you've been carrying with you, the more the demands are, as they increase in intensity, frequency, and duration, we become more distressed by it, because there will be demands. As we talked about earlier, the multiple roles and the multiple tasks that we have to perform. But we also have to look at the predictability, as we say, of the change cycle. It's also about the chaos of change. And I talk here about time in the desert. That's